Hello again everyone, welcome back to Landric Plays, welcome back to more Hand of Fate. Let's dive right in.
Another round, and our game truly begins.
That's right, so after this round, we will have defeated 3 of these bosses, which will unlock a new set of challenges. And this time we are up against the Queen of Dust. So this is the Bandit Queen, and she adds some curses to the deck. So curses are like encounters, but they're generally bad, because curses. So in combat, these aren't encounters, these are just standard effects. So in combat, the player's movement speed is reduced by how much gold they possess. So the more gold we carry around, the slower we're going to move. So this is an incentive actually to get rid of as much gold as we can. They add some more challenges, so we get 3 rock falls added to the deck, and 3 good fortune cards also added to the deck.
A bold woman, this one. She did not collapse when the Empire did. No, she took up arms, organized her people, and vowed that in a country where death had gathered, she would be the one dealing it.
Well, she sounds lovely. So we're going to go into the deck builder again. And again, I'm going to start with just the recommended deck, and then we're going to have a quick look through at our encounters. So we do have most of the new cards in there, including obviously the ones that are all locked. Are there any that I want to swap out for any of these? Which would we rather see, is the thing. So we didn't get the local peasant last time. I'm tempted to swap out the helpful priest for the devil's wager, just because I really like the devil's wager. This whole series of cards. Yeah, let's add that one. We'll put the helpful priest back in another time. And yeah, 14 out of 14, so we can't fit any more in there. Do we want to have a look at our weapons? So, Frostfang. So we've not found that, it won't tell us any stats about it. We do have a whole bunch of helmets and things as well. I think I'm going to get rid of the Damocles. Because as nice as it is to have an artifact, it's not really that useful to us. I think I'm also going to... Well, is there anything I actually want to replace it with? Actually, I'm not sure there is. How is the mace? So the mace is still definitely better than the axe, so we'll add another mace. Best defense, good offense. Yeah, that'll do. Alright, let's get cracking. So, Queen of Dust. Let's see what she's made of.
Now we play for the cup, the first of my symbols.
So that's right, if we beat the Queen of Dust, we get this cup over here, which is sort of the first trophy, and there are 4 of these, 1 for each set of 3 champions. So there we can see the cards the Queen of Dust has added to the deck.
I've added some cards to spice up the game.
Yes, you have.
In addition to the pain and gain decks, there are now blessings and curses. Choose your steps carefully.
So yes, we already have this curse, the Moneybags curse from the Queen of Dust. But we can also now acquire blessings, which hopefully will alleviate some of our problems. So let's make our way through this fairly small level. Mr. Lionel, hooray! Blah blah blah. Evening meal, blah blah blah. Strange old man, blah blah blah. Poorly disguised goblin. Mr. Lionel shows up and he asks us what we need. So last time we gave him 20 gold and he gave us the same shield as always. So we could give him some food, but I'm beginning to suspect that he will still give us the same shield, so let's just ask him what he needs. Pow! We get an equipment card. Specifically a shield, and in this case the Fortitude's Breath, this really nice shield, which I'm quite happy that we've got. And then he runs off, taking his pickled onion with him as he goes. See, that's much more like it. I'd much rather give up a pickled onion than 20 gold and a pickled onion. Aha, Twisted Canyon again, so again we get this card. So we can climb down and we can try and get this weapon. Maybe I should have removed this from the deck, but then again, free weapons, who's going to say no to that? So hopefully this one will be simple enough that we can slowly follow this success card. There we go. And we retrieve the weapon. So we get an equipment card, we get Frostfang. Equipment with the ice trait is imbued with glacial power. Lizardmen, which we haven't seen any of yet, are especially susceptible to ice damage. So I don't know if bandits are especially susceptible to anything, or maybe they're especially susceptible to everything. But as we're against the Queen of Dust, I think it makes sense to look out for something that bandits don't like. Still, this does 28 damage, and each hit slows the target, and we can also press 1 to activate a special ability, so certainly not going to turn my nose up at that. That's a fairly good increase over our rusty old axe, so let's grab that. So the rusty axe doesn't go into our inventory because it's valueless, it's pretty rubbish, so that just gets thrown away. So here's the stairs.
Bound once more, seeking the heart of it all.
I'm going to make sure that we fully explore this level first. Aha, we get the maiden again.
You might think the world of the cards is grim. Yet, even in the darkness, there is light to be found.
There certainly is. And again, we could ask for gold, but given our curse, that'll slow us down. We could ask for supplies, but 17 food's probably more than enough, as long as we'll probably acquire some later with our gain cards. So let's just ask for a longer life. We get our max health card. +5 max health. There we go. Bold heroes make for great ballads, but survivors think twice before meddling in the affairs of gods and monsters. Well, we'll see. I have a feeling we're going to do quite a lot of meddling in the affairs of gods and monsters.
Downwards, if you dare.
I'm still looking forward to that Devil's Wager card showing up at some point.
This game is still only beginning. New rules, new tools, new abilities. We have far to go as yet.
We certainly do. Travelling Mage. So in a shady grove off the beaten trail, blah blah blah, merchant, blah blah blah, wandering adventurers. So we only have 10 gold, but our gold is going to slow us down in combat, so if we can find something cheap to pick up for this 10 gold, let's see if we can do it. See what he's got for sale. So we have Herne's Antlers. Lizardmen take double damage, but we're unlikely to see any lizardmen. Hag's Wraps. Each strike inflicts a curse. The Damocles. And Alchemical Silver, which is another artifact, which lets us attack faster with each successful strike, and the longer our combo, the more explosive the reaction. Unfortunately, don't have quite enough gold for any of these things. Maybe we'll have to backtrack and come back here. Do we want to just buy some food? 6 gold for 1 food. That seems quite expensive, and we don't need food that badly, and we don't need to rid ourselves of gold that badly. Once we're lugging around 100 gold and we become sort of almost statue-like in combat, then I'll consider it, but I think we're probably fine. Aha, so this is the, I forget the name of this quest, Monster of the Deep or Monster of the Sea or something like that. The Landlocked Lubber.
Again, a token is at stake.
So this time we get a token, and we get this special token, which is from one of the DLCs. The door to the Landlocked Lubber opens with a creak, breaking the silence like a thunderclap in a tomb. The proprietor greets you. Welcome, traveller, and before I can treat you with our hospitality, I must ask you a very important question. Have you seen, heard, or God forbid, smelled a kraken? No, we've not. What's a kraken? The landlord stares at you in disbelief. He proceeds to rant and rave for nearly an hour about the dangers, claws, feeding patterns, and scents of the kraken. After which, you learn that his name is Carlo, and in years past he sailed the seas as a captain. He now owns this inn and stays as far away from the sea as possible. I wonder why. After giving you some time to enjoy the warmth and some stale bread, Carlo approaches you. I've heard rumours of boats going missing from the small village port of Norwich. No survivors, no witnesses. Norwich port is run by bandits, thieves and smugglers. There's no way to know what's really happening there. Perhaps you could have a look around and find out more. I would go, of course, but I have this place to look after. Carlo gestures to the empty, damp-ridden flea hole that he calls home. Yeah, he just doesn't want to go near the sea, does he? But we get this token.
Take the token. It is yours.
Which means next map we play through, we're going to get the next card in this sort of story arc. As for now, it doesn't give us anything, it just gives us this token. And on a similar theme, Goblin King's halls, so
As you
that looks like
plunder
Mr.
the
Lionel.
secrets of your memories, you'll gain new cards. Some you'll wish you'd left untouched.
That is true. Not all of the cards we get will be helpful to us. One night, as you lie in a forest clearing, you are disturbed by the sight of a shadowy figure watching from the darkness. "Well met," the goblin exclaims, stepping into the light and sitting by the fire. "Just the armed warrior I've been seeking." Let's ask him to elaborate. The goblin makes himself comfortable. "My name is Mr. Lionel." "Of course it is. Hello, Mr. Lionel. "And I have a tale of woe to share with you, and perhaps an opportunity for you to make a tidy profit from my misfortune." He goes on to tell the story of his troubles with the king of the goblins, while lamenting his subsequent banishment from the goblin community. The king could have shown leniency, he concludes, given that his daughter and I were both drunk from the excellent Dulcin brandy served at his coronation. Oh, Mr. Lionel. Instead, he opted to make his first official act my banishment. The fool will regret it, though, for now it is time for revenge, he says eagerly, taking out a strange amulet. For hundreds of years, the Goblin Kings have gathered treasure and hoarded it in a series of enchanted and ever-changing treasure vaults. Ooh, I like the sound of this already. Only the Goblin King himself knows where his treasure vaults are hidden, but now I have a way to find them. I just need a lock of elven hair to complete this magical device. Maybe we could have asked Merith for this if we'd seen her afterwards. Just get the hair by any means possible. Don't worry, I'll find you again once your quest is complete. With that, he returns to the shadows and sits down behind a bush watching you. So we get this new token, which means we can progress to the next story of this, but that will require a lock of elven hair.
It's better than trudging along a muddy road. Certainly.
So we found a friendly trader willing to let us ride on his wagon. So this is essentially the stairs. So we're going to hitch a ride. We're going to embark on the next leg of our adventure.
You are close on her trail, and more confident than I had imagined. Perhaps you will play beyond this mark, and we will see your true mettle.
That's right. So for this, floor of the dungeon, we have much more choice. So we have this grid of cards, and we can explore it in any order we like. I'm probably just going to loop around like this. What's the first encounter? First encounter is a rockfall. Good.
A terrifying walk to get to the Queen. So many potential places for an assailant to get the upper hand.
Okie dokie. So what does this do for us? While journeying near the coast, you hear a rumble overhead. Falling rocks force you to take cover. Ah, good. Success, failure, failure, huge failure. So let's... Okay. So all we know is this one is bad. Hooray! Success! So you dodge the rocks by ducking into a small cave, and a few minutes later you emerge and climb around the new rockfall. And you hear a voice somewhere above you say, "Did I hit him?" So we can flee the area, or we can run up to attack the bandits. 2 monster cards. The 2 of Dust and the 4 of Dust. 6 bandits. And we've not found all that much equipment yet. But we've probably found enough equipment to take out 6 bandits. Ooh, we get the controls again for some reason. Ah, that's right, because our weapon has a special ability. I'd actually forgotten about that. Let's try it. That actually is pretty cool. Let's use that some more. I wonder how often we can use it. If I do a dodge roll, can I... Nope, not recharged yet. So this is actually slowing them all down with every attack I make. I think I've still... Did I pick up the Damocles? I did not. Whoops. Dodged straight into his attack there. Not the smartest thing I've ever done, but it was only 5 health. So we're back up to my previous maximum. Whoops, accidentally cast Cone of Cold in the totally wrong direction. Not that we needed to use it anyway, but, you know. There we go. Pow! All bandits defeated. However, there are a couple more of those rock falls in the deck because of the Bandit Queen. Which I'm not super looking forward to, but hey, we get 2 equipment cards out of it. So we get Desperate Measures.
I'm impressed. Few select these sorts of weapons because nobody ever anticipates being in peril. Such misplaced confidence is usually their downfall.
So that's true. The Desperate Measures gives us bonus damage based on the health, on how low our health is, but we're getting through all of these quite well. So it has more base damage, but it doesn't have the special ice attack. It gives us Holy, and because we're against bandits, I'm not so worried about this this Holy modifier. So I think we're actually going to stick with Frostfang, and if we come up against a shop, I'll probably sell this for the gold. So no, we won't equip that. What's our other piece of equipment? Aha, Consuming Shame, so
Poison.
this is our artifact.
It's the tool of the traitor.
All weapon attacks are enhanced with a powerful poison that taints the victim's mind and body. So not only do we do special magic ice damage, we get Consuming Shame, which I think is... we still have to activate it. So we moved, we ate some food, which actually means our health has gone up. Travelling healer. Don't really need to worry about health. I think we could buy some max health here, but again, we've only got 10 gold. We're almost certainly not going to be able to afford it. There we go, already back up to max health just by walking around and eating. Indecent Arrival. So this is, again, one of the sort of DLC quests.
Their foolishness.
You are minding your own business in a local tavern when suddenly 3 masked men burst through the doors, grab a young man from the bar, and manhandle him outside. One patron bursts out in protest, but is quickly silenced by the solemn stares of all of those around him. Leave them be, Garrett. If it is his time, then it must be done. Well, we'll see about that, shall we? We'll follow the masked attackers. We follow them outside, and immediately we're confronted by a large crowd, all wearing masks. Their leader speaks to you. Whoa there, stranger. I really would prefer that no outsider witness what we're about here. I know this may look like a godforsaken thing we do, but you have no idea of our troubles, so I'll ask you not to involve yourself. I will not ask twice. We have no time for objections. The crowd turns and drags away the young man, their torches burning a mournful light into the distance. Once the light has faded from sight, you follow their path into the forest. You catch up with them, and to your surprise, they are gathered around a yawning portal that whirls with malicious portent. Despite their business, it is obvious that none of the hooded figures relish the sight before them, and many are obviously distraught. The captive is carried to the portal atop the shoulders of 6 people, as though they were his coffin bearers, and he already dead. The young man's struggles are subdued by bonds of rope. Do we interrupt the ceremony? So we could stay hidden and see what happens, or we could interrupt it. Let's try playing the hero. I'm sure this will have horrible, horrible consequences, but we will burst forth from our hiding place and plead with the assembled crowd not to go through with whatever bizarre ritual they are engaged in, but we gain no support. The leader eventually speaks above the crowd. If this man is so adamant that one of our own should not be sent to the underworld, then perhaps he should go himself. You are immediately seized by the crowd and pushed towards the portal. Try as you might, they are too strong for you and you cannot escape. You stumble and fall. Okay, great. So yeah, terrible things. You fall to the ground with only a gentle jolt. You find yourself in a forest that bears a most striking resemblance to where you just were, but with 2 very significant differences. The crowd of masked onlookers are gone, and the sky burns with bright red flames. Out of the sulphur and flames emerge foul hell beasts. So we get the 4 of Hell. So this is not a normal card. This is an especially bad card. Hopefully, we're still early enough in the game that they won't have... Oh dear, oh dear. That they won't have any special bonuses based on the dealer's attributes. But they are all hell beasts, so maybe special icy attacks are actually going to be very effective against them. They certainly seem to be doing okay. Managed to avoid that, managed to avoid that. Pow! I completely forgot I could also be using my my artifact that poisons these things. They definitely seem to be taking a lot of punishment. But I think we are slowly whittling them down. There we go. So, what will happen now? After you destroy the last Hellbeast, the portal stirs back into life. You are lifted off your feet and sucked into the vortex before being deposited back in the leafy forest you were ejected from earlier. The card's token is now yours. This will probably have no further consequences, right? I'm sure this was only... Yeah, of course it's going to. Ah, the White... So yet another special sort of DLC quest, the White Council.
I will happily wager on the outcome. I do not think you have what it takes.
Well, we'll see. As dust settles, you arrive at a small village known as Lesser Dimsgate. The locals are gathered at a shabby-looking inn. Something must be done, shouts a voice raised in anger. They took all our gold and food, one peasant wails. Will nobody stand up to them? Well, you know, as we're going around playing the hero, yeah, of course we'll offer to help. They went that way, not an hour ago. You easily catch up with the band of ruffians. They seem overly confident and are in no rush. Yeah, these look like totally ordinary bandits. I'm sure nothing will come of this. As you approach, the one who seems to be their leader notices you. Kill him, he commands, gesturing towards you. He looks like a troublemaker. 2 more monster cards. So the 2 of dust and 3 of dust. Okay, that's fine. So these are just ordinary bandits. Their leader's probably also totally ordinary.
Now we begin to raise the stakes.
How?
The arena itself will fight against you. Beware of my traps.
Ah, that's right. So this particular map also has traps in it, so we're going to have to look out for those. Which I am notoriously bad for rolling right into, but I think we're okay right now. There we go. Yeah, we take those out with very little trouble indeed. Smack. There we go, bandits. Over and done with. Let's see what their leader has to say for himself. You gather the stolen supplies and return them to the villagers, saying, "Those bandits will trouble you no longer." Oh, they weren't bandits, the child explains. They worked for the White Council, and it was our turn to give tribute. Oops.
Well done.
Okay, let's move on. Yet another special DLC update. I really love the fact that they kept updating this game and kept adding new quests and stuff, because the replayability is one of its strongest features.
This token will unlock more cards if you can defeat this encounter.
The Mug and Barrel Inn is renowned for attracting the most talented bards from all around. You arrive there, weary from your adventures, but tonight's entertainment convinces you to settle by the hearth for a while. Hours pass, and the crowd starts to thin. The bard begins to move around the room, playing requests for small groups. He serenades a pair of young lovers for a meagre sum, and is then generously tipped for leading a group of blacksmiths in a raucous chorus of foul language aimed at the folks from the next town over. He approaches you. Well, well, well. We do have here a most distinguished adventurer. No tawdry tale of insipid chivalry or brash tribalism will do. You, sir, merit a stirring ballad of bloodshed, heroism, and death. The bard sings for you the fable of the White Minotaur, a legendary beast who is master of both might and magic. Its power is such that it has felled every adventurer, bounty hunter, or treasure seeker it has ever crossed. At the close of the song, the bard leans in close to you and whispers, "The White Minotaur is no myth. I met a man 2 nights ago who hunts the beast, as if he were its long shadow. I'd wager that any adventurer would be interested in the tales he told me over supper. All yours for a small donation." Alright, let's see. Success, failure.
Choose from these options.
So all we know from this one is that this one is not the huge failure. So let's go with that. So it's a failure. Only 15 gold. Unfortunately, we don't have 15 gold. So that's I would absolutely have paid 15 gold for that if I had it. Ah well. Bandits attack.
Bandits, eh? Make an enemy of one, and you've made an enemy of all. One can't help but admire their single-mindedness.
3 bandits, no trouble. Pow! I really like that attack. There we go. No trouble at all. See, when we've got all of our best equipment, I think some of these battles are actually over quicker than the loading screen. Among the bodies, you find a scrap of parchment with a rough description of you, plus an offer of reward from the King of Dust. Yeah, I think we're going to have to go have some very serious words with the King of Dust, or this one's going to keep showing up. But we get 3 food. And on to the next card. The Queen of Dust. Okay.
Noble causes turn to rotten enterprise. You may win this battle, and send the Queen to her rightful end. Yet, what have you gained in the process?
I've gained your cup. That's what I've gained. The Desert Queen is more lethal in battle and harder to kill than a regular bandit. Again, not saying much. Her blades are sharp, and she is frequently protected by a powerful crossbow. Now that is actually slightly more worrying. The bandit queen was taken by slavers as a child and raised in the desert. Over the years, she has bribed and murdered her way to her current position as second in command of the Desert Thieves, proving herself capable of ruthless cunning. Well, we'll see.
There's a token in it for you if you win.
2 tokens, in fact. Lovely. Alright, here we go. Queen of Dust. And she's protected by the 2 of Dust. And also her crossbow. That's not so much a crossbow as it is a ballista. But that's fine, so let's activate our special weapon. So this will do more damage. Whoop. Dodge that crossbow bolt. Take out these bandits quite easily. Let's go and take out this crossbow before it gets on my nerves. Oh, maybe we can't take it out. Oh, we'll just focus on her. There we go. We did get the crossbow after all. So we'll avoid her unavoidable attack. Or unblockable attack, rather. Pow! There we go. So that gives us the card of the Queen of Dust. And not only that...
Inevitable, I suppose. So often those who beat plowshare to sword die by the grim instruments of their industry. Still, she fought well and bravely, which is all I expect from my pawns and players.
I don't know about well. She certainly fought bravely, but by defeating all 3 of the first of the dealer's champions, we unlock the Goblin. And this has several effects. So we now have stronger counterattacks. Our stunning attacks last longer. We actually get some upgraded starting gear, which is nice, so we don't have that rusty axe anymore. I think we get an actual axe and an actual shield. Actually, I don't know about the shield. We'll see. But all bandits are now stronger, all skeletons are now stronger, and bandits now have throwing knives. There we go.
You have earned the first of the symbols of my power and passed the first gate. There is no turning back now. Previously I was merciful, but now I cannot be. It is begun. I crafted each of these cards over the course of years. You have taken them from me in mere moments.
Well, them's the breaks. So let's explore the tokens that we've won. Most of these are from those special update quest lines, if you like. So, we met with Carlo of the Landlocked Lover, and this gives us access to Smuggler's Wharf. We joined Mr. Lionel's quest, and now the Maiden has a special token on it as well. This is from the Underworld, and this gives us Alicia in the Underworld. This gives us the White Council 2, I think. Yep. And this is for defeating the Queen of Dust. So the next one we unlock is the Jack of Plague, Asleep in the Forest, Field of Poppies, and Battle at Brooktop. And we also get some equipment for that. We get Fleet Cuffs, which are a type of glove we can equip, Armour of Cold, so slightly upgraded armour, and the Huge Hammer, which is a huge hammer. Fantastic.
Come, play again.
Well, we will play again shortly, but not this episode. The next run at the next time we shuffle your deck, it will be next episode. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see the rest of you next time.